Welcome to the RC Success Program. I'm Shannon McNeil, and I'm the director of the RC Success Program. I also do professional academic coaching, and I train and supervise all the academic peer mentors. This semester, I will go on as your second advisor to offer strategic advising during your term of academic warning. I will stay in close contact with your professors and monitor your class attendance and progress. You will still maintain your relationship with your current advisor and meet with them for class registration. I will be meeting with you at various times during the semester, but please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. My office is located on the library's first floor at the Center for Learning and Teaching next to the coffee shop. I realize that you may not be thrilled to be here, but I want to encourage you that not all paths go in a straight line. In fact, some of the more interesting people in the world have gone through a similar trial and errors that made them the people they are today. How you handle the low points in your life is how you learn to grow. Let's decide to take a positive approach and see this as an opportunity to learn from our mistakes and move forward. The mission of RC Success is to help students repair their cumulative GPA and avoid academic suspension. We do this by teaching students how to study. Typically, students rely on ineffective study skills from high school that will not result in meaningful learning. Each week, you will work with your academic peer mentor to learn a new study skill proven to help you learn and retain information. And lastly, we teach you how to manage your time through planning out your week, finding social balance, and attending a mandatory study hall. What do I need to do to get off academic warning? RC Success is open to all freshmen and sophomores on academic warning. The program was also made available to freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors who would be suspended. Due to the pandemic, they were offered an exception to suspension agreement. To be removed from academic warning, freshmen must earn a cumulative GPA of 1.7 or higher, sophomores a 1.85 or higher, juniors and seniors must maintain a 2.0. In most cases, it is possible to meet the GPA requirement, but students will need 2 semesters to bring up their cumulative GPA in some circumstances. Students will be able to return for the fall semester in a status of academic warning if they earn a semester 2.0 regardless of their cumulative GPA. Pay your debt. Understand the grade point deficit. A grade point deficit is created when a student earns F and D grades that drag down the GPA. Moving forward, you will either have to make A's and B's or consider retaking classes that you have previously failed. Depending on the course, it's a no-brainer to replace as many F's this semester as possible because, cumulatively, retaking a class will only bring up your GPA as you can only fail a course once. Typically, C's will only maintain your GPA, but replacing an F with a C will pull up your cumulative in the case of retakes. You should consider carefully retaking courses with a D grade, as that grade can always lower to an F, and the most current grade will replace, not the highest. The example on the screen shows a typical freshman academic warning situation. The student earned an F in INQ 110, a C in Spanish, a D in INQ 240, and a D in Sociology 101. This gave them a cumulative GPA of 1.0. If the student moves forward with new classes only and improves with the semester 2.0, that student's cumulative GPA only improves to a 1.5, and the student will remain on academic warning. A better option is to consider retaking a course or two and doing better than average in at least one class. In the last example, the student retakes INQ 110 and INQ 240 and earns a higher than average grade in one class. This gives the student a 2.25 semester GPA and brings their cumulative GPA to a 2.0. The student is officially off academic warning and is now in good academic standing for any classification. What do I need to do each week? Weekly requirements include meeting with your academic peer mentor at the beginning of each week to make a plan for the week ahead. In the beginning, mentor meetings will be longer, but typically they will last 20 to 30 minutes each week. Look for an email or text from your mentor during the first week of class. You can also see your mentor's contact information and track your study hall hours at rcsuccess.roanoke.edu. You will also be required to log a minimum of 6 hours of study hall each week. Half of your hours must be completed by Tuesday at 11 p.m. This gives you Sunday, Monday, and all of Tuesday to complete 3 hours of study hall. If you are only completing the minimum number of hours each week, you can only spend 3 hours maximum in study hall each day. Why do I have to space out my hours? Study hall isn't just for making sure you get your work done. Yeah, that's a big part of why you're required to do study hall, but it's also a practice in managing your time and prioritizing a daily study routine. Also, you can't plan for the unexpected events, like getting sick or a surprise visit from your mom. If you plan to do max hours starting on Wednesday, something else will inevitably come up, which will make it difficult for you to make your hours. Study hall is located on the lower level of the Fentel Library. The hours of operation are Sunday, 1 p.m. to 11 p.m., Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday is the start of your study hall hours. And you must have 6 hours completed by Friday at 5 p.m. Study hall rules. No phones in study hall. We have a zero tolerance policy. So when you check in, you will hand your phone to the monitor. If at any point you try to take the phone or you say you don't have it and you hide it and they see it, they will remove you from study hall immediately. Headphones are allowed, but it must be streaming from your computer and not from your phone. Computers have to face the monitor. Screens must be visible, so if it's too dim, the monitor can't see it, they'll ask you to turn it up. No iMessaging, social media, TV, movie apps, browsing, shopping. None of those things are allowed in study hall. Again, that's a zero tolerance. If you're found just iMessaging once, you'll be clocked out and asked to leave. No talking, it's obviously a quiet study hall. No sleeping, if you are caught nodding off, you'll be clocked out, they'll ask you to leave. No group work. No meals. Snacks are fine, but having a meal in study hall is eating, it's not studying, so remember that's not appropriate. No tobacco products, vaping or juuling, that's including dip, spitting in cups, none of that's allowed. No friends from outside the program, and of course, no Zooming for class, because study hall is quiet, you can't interact with class, also it's for studying, not for going to class. Also, keep in mind during a pandemic, you must keep your mask on at all times and maintain a social distance of 6 feet. Productivity in study hall. You must have a plan for what you want to do in study hall and how much time you'll spend completing each task. The study hall monitor will ask you about your goals at check-in. Yes, I know, insert eye roll. Why is she doing this to me? Having a plan helps you gauge how long it takes you to complete a task, and it focuses your efforts. You can't say you plan to spend 3 hours in study hall if you only plan to do your Spanish homework. Remember, students should spend 24 to 36 hours per week studying to make average grades. Students who say they have nothing to do in study hall do not understand that studying goes beyond homework and due dates. There is always something that needs to be done. What if I live off campus or get sick? We do have a virtual study hall. This is for students who live off campus. So you're in Texas right now, or like even if you live in Franklin County, it's far enough away that you can't manage to get to study hall. Students who are isolated or quarantined have permission to use virtual. Again, you do have to ask permission. It's not just because it's raining outside and you don't want to walk, so I'll log on to virtual. That's not an option. It's only if you live off campus or you're sick. The link for virtual study hall is located on our website, roanoke.edu/academic coaching, and it's under the RC Success tab. So if you know that you're going to need virtual, you might want to go ahead and take a look at the information. You do have to use the following apps to control distractions. We ask that you have Cold Turkey for your computer, Flora or Forest for your phone. Again, you can find links about these apps on the website. There's also an instructional video about how to install Cold Turkey and what you would need to do as far as the process of checking in with virtual study hall. So if you know you're a virtual study hall person, after you watch this orientation, you're going to want to go find the other PowerPoint presentation. You must be in an approved location with your camera on. By approved location, You have to be alone and distraction free. At a desk, not laying down, not in a car hanging out with your friends. It has to be clear that you're in a secure study place where you're not being distracted. So the academic coaches or mentors, they can deny you in virtual study hall just based on your environment. So again, you can find an instructional video for how to use cold turkey at roanoke.edu/academic coaching. You do need to experiment with these apps before you attempt to go virtual. What happens if I don't complete my hours or meet with my academic mentor? Non-compliance, early release, and exception to suspension. Non-compliance means you're not going to study hall, you're not meeting with your mentor, you're not responding to me. If we can't get a hold of you, notifications will be sent to your parents, your advisor, and your athletic coach if that applies. You have to meet with me, the director. And after that, if you fail to improve, you could be released from the program as non-compliant. Now, you may be saying to yourself, that's exactly what I want. Well, it becomes a part of your academic record. Essentially, you have one semester to get your cumulative GPA up, and if you don't, you either get suspended or there is an appeals process. But if it becomes part of your academic record that you received assistance but you didn't take advantage of it, that could have an effect on the appeal process. It also could impact your eligibility to play sports. Your coaches want you in RC Success and they want to see that you're going to study hall and keeping up with your part of the agreement. And statistically, it's just harder to return to good academic standing. This program is 14 years old, and historically, we have somewhere between 75 89% success rate. The students who participate fully in this program come out on the other side unscathed. So students who don't do the program, drop out of the program, they don't necessarily fare as well. Also, there is an early release option. At midterm, there's an evaluation, and if you are going to study hall, meeting with your academic peer mentor, and your midterm GPA is a 2.5 or higher, you can decide to opt out of the program entirely. You also can renegotiate your contract. So you can say, I don't want to do 6 hours of study hall. Maybe I want to do 3 hours of study hall. Or you can decide to keep everything the same. The point is, by midterm, if you've been doing what you're supposed to, you're rewarded with deciding how you want to spend your time. Students who fall into the exception to suspension category, and you would know this. If you're like, what's exception to suspension? Then you probably aren't one. You would have received a letter from the registrar's office saying that if you don't agree to do the RC Success program and follow the contract to the letter, you could be asked to leave the college at any point. So failure to comply can result in being sent home early. You also must earn at least a 2.0 at midterm, and you cannot opt out of the program. So you're staying in the program for the full semester, and if you aren't following the program's guidelines, it could have an impact on your stay. Okay, your to-do list. So at this point, you need to take the RC Success orientation quiz. That's how you get credit for coming to orientation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I know it's hard in these formats sometimes to get everything you need, but take a moment to fill out the quiz and look at your correct answers. Go to your RC Success dashboard to see your academic peer mentors information. That's at rcsuccess.roanoke.edu. You do need to get to accustomed of checking this website. This is how you see your hours on a weekly basis. Respond to your mentor's text or email to arrange your first meeting for the week of February 14th. Study hall requirements start on Sunday, February 14th. You should have also already met with your peer mentor by that point. So make sure you're responding. And lastly, we need you to complete the LASSE. This is a 60-question assessment that helps us understand what study skills you're good at and which we need to improve on. You will take the LASSE twice, once before the program and one at the end to gauge your progress. So go to the website that's listed below, and under First Administration, you need to add the school number, username, and password. And please don't take the assessment multiple times just to see what else you get. We have to pay for each one of these, so just take it once and then we will take it again at the end of the semester, but we'll keep you in the loop on that. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I look forward to working with you this semester.